Howdy everyone, my name is Ibrahim,
My name is John.
and today we're going to be talking about the Ultimate Packer. So, when you're traveling somewhere for a couple of days or even for a month, as long as a month, we always tend to forget stuff. Some basic stuff like our phones or chargers, wallets, or even some more important stuff like passports, for example. So, we made this app to kind of deal with this small issue or with this issue in general. So what our app does, it takes your location, where you're coming from, the city that you're going to, and kind of your departure and return time, and it figures out the duration from that of your stay, and it gives you recommendations for basic items, and it gives you recommendations for some preferences based on where you're going. So, kind of to give a little bit of a demo, I'm gonna start off with um, Fairbanks, somewhere cold like Fairbanks,
No,
and
the other
then
way. We'll start from College Station, and we're gonna go to Fairbanks.
College Station, College Station. Thank you, John. College Station in the United States, and we're gonna go to Fairbanks. Uh, Fairbanks, and this is in Alaska. So the departure date, I'm just gonna put kind of simple. It's just today, and it's a week from now. So kind of, um, this is the recommended list that it gives us. Since in Alaska it's pretty cold, it recommends stuff like sweaters, puffers, scarves, and any of these you can kind of pick whatever you like from these recommendations, like ID, and add to your list, and you can also decide to add your items as well. So anything you want to take extra on that. So kind of moving on to another example. And for this, since it's a fairly short trip, it just require one small bag. Now, going on to the next place, it would be
Road Town.
Road Town in VG, somewhere far, far away. And this, since it's kind of further, I'm going to make it a longer time span, so around a little bit more than a month. So if I submit that, it's gonna give a different, completely different recommended list with some basics like socks and pants, but it's also gonna give like t-shirts, sunscreen, deodorant, and swim gear, for example, because there's a lot of beaches. So I'm gonna hand it off to John to kind of go over how these lists are created.
So all this list is really created using a weather API. So from that weather API, we're able to parse through the data because they do give us an extensive list. However, through the extensive list, we're able to pick out what we want for our needs in order to populate the data like this. And so, for example, like if a place is really really hot, obviously they'll give you a suggestion like sandals and things like around that area. But it also takes into consideration, like for example, what happens if it rains. Well, if it rains, it will also offer you some to bring raincoats or umbrella. And same goes for the sunscreen. Like for example, in a road town, it has a really high UV index. So due to that, we would like you to protect your skin, and so in that case, we would offer hats and sunscreens in this case.
Awesome, and kind of adding on to that. Um, so here, there's a passport. When we went between the United States to Fairbanks, it actually didn't show passport because you only need your ID card to get on the plane. But our website actually detects if you're traveling from a different to a different country and how far the distance is, and it makes preferences based on that as well. So that's the basic demo of our website. What we used to kind of make this website is React.js on the front end and Node.js on the back end. And kind of going more in depth, we used on the front end, we used Redux JavaScript library for global states and to persist them as well. And we used a middleware called Thunk. So that's kind of the overview of our apps. Thank you guys for listening to our presentation, and gig 'em.